Welcome back to my channel, Family of Light. This is Davida with Medium of the Light Tarot. I'm back with you for the 25th installment of Messages from Your Deceased Loved Ones. As you can see that there's a 4-card lineup here. I only wanted to do 3 and they were like, come on, do one more. And I'm like, all right. So here I am doing it. Sorry for the tardiness of this, but as I always say, better late than never. So once again, this is the 25th installment. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So go ahead and go down to the comments box. You will find a general description of who came forth on each one of these. And then you can kind of make your decision from there. And I will see you there. All right, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's get started on number 1. Messages from your deceased loved ones. All right. So this is number 1. Deep knowing, bat spirit, which is rebirth is assured, surrender to receiving support and love, horse, and the writing is so small I cannot see it, freedom. It's a nice card. I haven't really seen that one. And don't worry about reversals in this sort of reading. I don't do reversals because they tell me what to say. Whether the card is whichever way. And let's see if we can get these all in here. All right. And of course, if I feel called to pick one up, I will definitely do so. Now, not to be facetious, but the first contestant can come on down. And as always, there's going to be one card in here that kind of draws me to a particular kind of energy. And of course, I'm a medium, so I look to the energy that I'm seeing. So this one is here. Of course, it's not this particular person, but it's the guidepost for me. It says the divine director. Intervention and purpose. Divine intervention is occurring. Know that you are being guided. Happiness is your purpose. Looks like a pretty good, purpose to have. So this is indeed indicative of the person in the card. This is a young person with a lot of melanin in their skin. He wants you to know that he is very excited and got his wish fulfillment in being able to come here today. He has been anxiously awaiting the confirmation and reunion of the two of you. He's saying that he was very borderline metaphysical in his life. He believed in things that cannot be seen, and he is saying that indeed he was correct in his thinking when he was here in the 3D, that there is more to what we assume here. So there's a lot of interesting transformation cards here. There's wish fulfillment. There's rebirth is assured. And what was this one? Freedom. He said that he left a very dark, dark place. Wherever his last final moments were dark. Like it was dark, it was at night. Something about a car accident. And he was thrown from the car. And he's saying that, he's like, and I was with some hoodlums. And I was like, well, why would you say that about your friends? And he's like, well, I wouldn't say that, but my mom would. He's saying that that he feels like he has made peace with what happened here on earth. He didn't get to fulfill all of his dreams. And he's okay with that. He wants you to surrender to support and love. It says, allow the love and support of others in, rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. He's saying that with his passing, it did leave some financial strain, and you kind of had like the word he's using is a fancy funeral. He says that he sees you at night when you cry for him, when you miss him. And he wants you to know he's right there comforting you. And he says sometimes he is behind you, putting his hands on your shoulders, helping you to cleanse the tears. He says that now he has a deep knowing of all the things that weren't known in the physical world. And he feels so excited, so empowered, so excited. Because he sees, from the eagle's eye view now. And he said, yeah, he was a little bit of an angry young man. And that he had a lot to learn. But he said, don't you be worrying, Mom. There's going to be more time. There's going to be more times for me to learn lessons, to grow. He's like, but now I'm coming at it from a higher perspective, from a higher ground where, he can see above you. He can see what his life path would have been. And what did he say? And he said, by the grace of God, he is going to continue to learn, continue to grow. He's talking about this transformation card here. It says, you are experiencing enormous change right now, which brings great blessings. And he wants this to herald to you the change that is going on, not only for him, but for you and the entire family. He said to lose him for the whole family was very devastating. He said that he brought a certain amount of compassion and wisdom to you guys where, in your dark moments, he would come to you and say the most profound things out of nowhere, almost as if he was channeling it. And he's talking about this bat spirit. It says a rebirth is assured, bat spirit. So he's saying that you have been wondering in your mind if he is going to come again And he said, indeed, I am. And he's telling me that in your childhood, you loved unicorns. And it was a source of almost like Santa Claus kind of a thing, you know, like the mythical creature that isn't really. And he winks, and I can see him winking, and he goes, but are they really mythical? And he smiles. He wants you to take the attitude of gratitude and appreciation and adopt the belief that unicorns do exist. And he's not necessarily saying like actually believing in unicorns, but believing in, you know, a miracle. Let's see if I can grab this one. Moving forward fearlessly. He's saying he understands with the situation currently going on that it might be hard to get out and about and, you know, be with people, but that you've kind of shut down a little bit. You've kind of withdrawn from life. And he wants you to get back into it. It says moving forward fearlessly. Now here's two. I always try to look at similarities here because there's two horse creatures, horse and a unicorn. Of course, there's many a winged creature as far as the bird, the bat, the fairy. I don't know if the flowers are supposed to be the child's wings. I'm not for sure. And then here with the clear cognizance, pay attention to thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. He says in the situation, in the season, in the things that you're experiencing, he wants you to find a peaceful resolution within your heart. Because he sees all of your thoughts. And he says you can do better. That you can do better in the situation. That you taught him tenacity and strength and fortitude, and knowing that to know your enemy and to study them gives you confidence in moving forward. I don't know where that came from, but that's what he's saying. I mean, I know where it came from, but anyway. He wants you to know that he's enamored by the experiences that he's having here, and he cannot wait until you can come and join him and remember what this gloriousness is all about. And he says thank you, and then of course goes without saying that he loves you. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you, young man. All right, well, thank you for joining me today. Sorry, I had to write in my book and I forgot to say goodbye. But please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if this resonated with you. And always leave comments down below because I love to hear about it. You know, I know that these help people. I'm just excited for it to get, you know, more and more, so more and more people can realize that if your loved one can randomly find you on YouTube through cards and a medium, come on, what else is possible? A lot. A lot. All right, so we're going to move on to number 2. All righty, let's see. All right, so we are in number 2. Don't worry about reversals. They will tell me what they want me to share. I am a psychic medium. I do like cards because I just think they're fun. And I think they have fun with it too, because they kind of get to point out certain things about the cards that will resonate with you. You know, because this is a lot of random things here. Especially, this isn't a personal reading. If you would like to have a personal reading with me, I am doing them. It is an hour over the phone, and it is $100. People find great healing from it. All right, so let's get started on number 2. Okay. What I'm seeing is and it always seems to kind of go with one of the cards, with how the description of the person looks like. You know, there's males and females here. But I'm picturing a elderly man, very skinny, very short hair, balding on top. He's saying that he's come, and this says come to the edge. Excuse me, but what he is saying is he came to the edge to communicate with you today. What does that mean? He's just pointing out where he is. I came to the edge. You know, came out of the light, so to speak, to communicate. He's saying he was always an agreeable person. And he's pointing me to this chameleon spirit here. He was a very, very agreeable person. A lot of people liked him, but he says he was a bit of a bore. He says, but he was a good provider. And I feel like he's talking to a son figure. A masculine figure. So this is sacrifice bull. Because he's showing me here that you were kind of a bull in a china shop. And he says you kind of always were. And you're especially a bull, and you're in your own china shop, which is your home. Because I don't know if you can see it, but really close up you can see like there's a castle here. And there's a person down here. He wants you to, what I heard was, slow your roll. He says that he didn't bring you up like that, and he doesn't expect any man in his family to act the way you're acting. He says that you've been very combative, and he says you're feeling very out of control. That you feel like you're jumping through all these hoops and nothing seems to be working. And you're taking it out on your family. He wants you to stop it. He says that he says, truth be told, I've seen this part of you before, and I'm here to tell you need to stop. He says you need to get out into nature. This says environmental awareness. But you need to go out and get into nature. If you need to go have like a man's cave time, take your friends. But there's some sort of abusive action that's happening here, and he's not going to stand for it. And he realized that this is a harsh message for someone who wanted to come through and say what he needed to say. But he's been waiting for this. He wants to ask for your forgiveness for not really being there for him, or being there for you. I'm sorry. He says he was so caught up in making sure that the family had all that they needed because he came from nothing. He grew up in a very poor family, and that financially you have done well for yourself because of college degree and all those sorts of things. But he didn't spend the time with you to teach you the things he could have taught you. He says he has a new understanding, and he wants you to have a new understanding that treating people poorly because of your inner state of being is not a good tactic if you want to keep a family. He says, as a father, when you were young, he wishes he would have always given you that goodnight kiss. Because he said kissing you as a young child was one of the most joyful things in his world. And I can see him like giving you a smooch on the cheek when you were asleep, and it just brought him this sense of joy and connection. And he doesn't want you to feel lost, because I think this is what this whole bull feeling is like. I mean, because look at the card here. It's all of this chaos and overstimulation and, you know, feeling like you have to take care of the castle and everything. Excuse me. And it's just, for you, it's become this tiresome, boring action that you have to keep taking. And he's saying that he wants you to surrender to your full power, but know what to do, when to go within, and trust your inner knowing. Excuse me, I'm going to take a drink here. He is saying that love matters. And he feels like that you're getting too caught up in the financial part. And, you know, this is all nature again. So go get into nature. You need some nature time to rebalance yourself. You know, because this is a stressful time that we are finding ourselves in. And it's all in how we cope with what's happening so we can move forward. And he's saying for himself, since he has passed over, and it has been a while, that he's been doing higher learning, and that he's drawing me to this card. It says higher learning. You have learned from experience. More inner study is now required to further progress. And that's not only for him, but it is for you. And that's why he came to you. He's saying something about some kind of a family line dysfunction that needs to end. And he's hoping that it ends with you. He says right now, with your current bull in a china shop actions, your children are watching it and going to be taking it and then carrying on the scenario. This verbal abusive kind of a reaction. He wants desperately to help sever that ancestral dysfunction. He says he doesn't have to tell you that he loves you, because you know he does. He misses all the kids. He said, give your wife a kiss on the cheek for me. He says, everyone, I miss and I visit everyone. He says, be very aware of knocks on the walls when things get a little too out of control with the bull in the china shop. He'll be there helping you and guiding you. He loves you, and that is all. All right, I hope that was helpful. That was a very stern message. Definitely not used to that kind of a message, but Why not, right? We all need a good slap now and again. We all get a little bull in a china shop. All right, please like, share, and subscribe, and let me know how that resonated with you. I always like to hear the stories. And let's move on to number 3. Let me just write that down. All right, you guys. Let's get started on number 3. Just clearing the energy from the last one. If you're like, what is she doing? So I am a medium. I do personal readings if you would like to have one. They are $100 for an hour, and it is over the phone. And of course, there is no cards involved because I don't need them. I just think it's fun to use them, especially in a general reading where they have fun picking them out and then pointing out what they want to, the talking points that they want me to touch in a short period of time. Let's see how we can fit all these in. Rawr. A lot of cards in this one. Okay, I'll have to put these one down here and I'll show them to you when and if the time is appropriate. From what I'm seeing here, it's a group of people. It's like three of them, possibly 4. They're saying we're part of an ancestral line. We have messages to give to those who want to listen. And it's interesting, in all of these readings, invariably, there's not always, but most of the time, there is a channeling from higher beings that come through. They say they want to offer us peace at this time. Going with this snake spirit, they're saying it's time to heal. Because it's interesting, they're all standing there like, well, 3 of them kind of like this, if that helps. And then behind him is a lot of light. So I can't really see them clearly. I can see them enough, but I can't see them like super clearly. They're saying at this time, they also want you to surrender to silence. So you can pick up the wisdom of the owl and the hope and the prosperity that is available. This energy is very nice compared to the last one. The last one was kind of like a family smackdown. I said through going into peace, doing your healing and surrender to silence and gaining the wisdom from the silence, you will feel more justice in your life, that things are more equal and balanced. Saying this time is very chaotic, and as we bring more balanced closure to what's happening, because this says phases and cycles, there is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. It's interesting, they usually don't want me to kind of take, anyway, it's very linear where it's going in sequential order here. They're saying that some of you are afraid to be bold. With this Freya, Unleash your adventurous side. Take risks, excuse me, and be daring. Let me get a drink here. Gotta have my bubbly or boobly, whatever it is. For whoever this is going to resonate for, they want you to gather more information about the frequency that they are transmitting to you, to all of us who listen to this particular reading. Yeah, that's a beautiful card. Somehow I got two of these on here, or in this one, and I didn't mean to. It says there is something better. So whatever you've been having trouble with, whatever you haven't been able to find peace about, getting more information and knowing that there is something better coming. They want to remind you the earth is our school. And for some of you, this is going to resonate a lot. This is time of awakening. This is a time to take charge of your life. Go within, do the deep work. I think for the most of you who did choose this one, and if you've obviously somehow remained and stayed this long, that your loved one did lead you here to this reading. It says, I had to leave that way. But they wanted to make sure that you got the downloads that were necessary within this reading. There's a lot of beautiful energy here. It says positive expectations. And the more you have good expectations, right, the better it's going to be. Yeah, this whole thing is about transformation. I mean, peace, heal, surrender to silence, wisdom, prosperity, hope, be bold, phases and cycles, getting justice, getting more information. There's something better for us, for you. Positive expectations. The only thing that wasn't really that way was these two, which is the earth is our school, and I had to leave that way. And the last two cards are catch your breath and shift your energy. And this card here is with this download that's coming through for those who need it. It will shift your energy. Now getting back to, the person that you wanted to speak to, they said, don't worry, that they'll come to you, and they do come to you. But this was more important for the collective to hear this. And I will always be near you and know that I am with these higher beings who are helping me to be bold. To heal, to find peace, just like you, and to open up to my wisdom. The beings are transmitting a lot of beautiful energy right now. It's being encapsulated within this recording, so when you do watch this, you will experience it. And please leave me a comment down below on what you experience with this. This is always interesting to me because, of course, I just don't channel deceased loved ones. It's anything that wants to come through for the highest good of all. Anything else that you guys would like to say? Your family member wants you to know that they love you. And they said that goes without saying. The beings of three, they're excited to have met you, and they look forward to watching your expansion. because as you expand, it helps grow and expand everyone else. All right, I hope that was helpful. That was a nice one. Ooh, I liked that one. That was very nice. I definitely felt that download. Didn't expect that at all. Feel like I just woke up from a nap. And who doesn't love a nap? Oh, when you're tired, that is. Oops. All right. Let me write this one down. All right. Alrighty, so let's go to number 4. The third one was woo. That one had some higher level beings, and there was some energy that was transmitted. If you're into that sort of thing, invariably, most of the time, always one of the piles has a channeled message from a higher being, our ancestors. So let's focus on this one now. So what I'm getting right away is a woman wearing an apron, like as if, but she's very nicely dressed. She's wearing heels, like very done up, as if she's hosting a very nice party. And she's not necessarily in the kitchen right now, but she's wearing an apron. She's very clear, and her energy is very strong in how she wants to be presented. She said the apron will be a giveaway for those who need to hear that. Let's see if we can fit all this in. All right. All right. How do you want to begin? She wanted to go straight to this one. It says, we are soulmates. So that's obviously to her mate. She's saying here that she's sending you loving signs through nature. She said that in your guys' younger years, you guys definitely enjoyed the outdoors. She said she doesn't want you to think for one moment that she isn't thankful for the leg up that you gave her. Like whatever it was during your guys' lifetime together, that you gave her a leg up. You, like you were of a higher financial status than she was. And she's saying when she passed over, that you kind of went in a very negative state of mind, because it says surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. And there's this cow spirit here, and it says the miracles are endless. She wants you to keep your thoughts positive, because miracles are able to happen. And I kind of feel like She's going to be there when you pass. If you've been worried about her not being there when you pass, she's going to be. She wants you to let go of the fear. There's a lot of fear you have. And interestingly, with this, when it says, I send you loving messages through nature, she's showing me like you looking at a TV screen, looking at nature. So she's like, don't think that you have to go out into nature, but she's saying, even looking at nature through the television screen. Yeah, she says, yes, we'll be together again. She says, though she doesn't feel like she's apart from you, but of course you do because you're still here in the physical. She wants you to notice the reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they are a signifier of divine guidance. She feels like you weren't really ever a very spiritual person, and neither was she in life. But she wants you to know that you are divinely guided. She is guiding you. And she's talking about this time, because earlier you had a lot of money and you kind of helped her because you guys got married and had kids and did the whole 9 yards. But there was a time when you guys somehow became broke, and you guys weathered the storm together, and you're going to weather this storm together too. She wants you to cherish the remaining time that you have here. This is an Ascended Masters deck, but it says Awakening Presence. The universe is within you. Wear a cloak of protection and love. And she's saying something about a blanket, the blanket that you're using or the blanket that you have. Picture it as your cloak of protection. She was saying Machu Picchu was a place that the two of you talked about going to. And that like friends had gone and shown you pictures, and both of you were like, oh my gosh, that'd be such a great place to go. She's saying when you cross over, we can go anywhere we want. It says you are good at helping, counseling, and healing children. Use your skills to help children now. She's saying that it was something that you kind of wanted to do during life, like as a career, like a counselor, or maybe you were a counselor in life. And of course, once a counselor, always a counselor, right? Because I feel like the person who would be seeing this is someone who is in an elder home, and they are getting closer to transitioning, and your wife has already transitioned. This is very specific. But she says that you guys were so bonded that, and you're doubting her coming through, you're not feeling it. And she wants you to let go of that fear and let go of the hopelessness, because she's like, this is just the ending of a phase. There's a whole new beginning that's coming. So be excited for that. And she's like, with this blanket, this cloak of protection and love, she's saying, know that it's her physical way of trying to connect with you, because she will imbue her energy into this blanket that whichever one you choose, she doesn't care which one it is. Because she said it doesn't matter. And, you know, for you, I feel like there's a part where you feel abandoned. And it says, you are worth it. You are worth it. She said she hasn't abandoned you. You know, and there's hope and happiness just waiting. Just on the other side. Okay? I hope that was helpful. That was a very lovely and emotional read. And, you know, it's those eternal bonds that create that long line of reincarnating, if you believe in reincarnation, you know, into being together over and over and over again, even in between lives. So once again, I hope this was helpful. Please leave me a like, share, and subscribe. And once again, I feel so honored and humbled that I am able to do this for you guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.